Hello and welcome to a tank update. I posted a video about the start of a saltwater reef tank. You can go back and check that out if you're curious. And a few of you have been asking, hey, how has that tank been going? So I figured I'd take a moment to show you guys what's going on in the tank. First thing we'll talk about is these guys right here. These two clownfish, who appear to be paired at this point. The one on the right, or one on the top, the one that is in the anemone, I believe that is the female, the dominant female, and the smaller one is the male. They are hosting the bubble tip anemone, which is awesome. That took a little bit of doing. I tried a few different tactics to get them to actually host the anemone. Tried to scare them into it, tried to just keep them in its general vicinity, and after trying a few things I kind of just gave up, and lo and behold, nature did its thing, and a few days later the female was hosting the anemone. Oh, there she goes, she's excited. So there's the clowns and the anemone. Let's pan over here, see what else we got going on. Those are both hermit crabs. The larger shell was a turbo snail, but I had a hermit crab decide it wanted to murder the snail and take its shell. So that actually has a hermit crab within it. There's another hermit down here doing its thing. That crab actually changed its shell this morning. It was in the smaller one, but it took the big one. So that big shell there was owned by the hermit crab that is in this shell right now. So once that became vacant, it jumped out of that black shell, went into the gray one. Moving up here, there is the Kenya tree soft coral. It's grown quite a bit. It's kind of limp today. When it's fully open, it sticks out quite a bit further. But it's doing all right. It's healthy. To the left is a clam that was a hitchhiker on this live rock, this purple rock, or not purple rock, this one right here. That rock there was taken out of the Florida Keys. So there was a lot of interesting hitchhikers on it. Best one being that clam that is alive and filtering the tank as we speak. Coming over here, we have some zoanthids or pallies. I'm really not sure yet. As they get larger, I'm sure it'll become more obvious. Up here is a bird's nest coral. SPS, small polyp stony, that is new. Over here we have the rock flower anemone just doing its thing, kind of chills out, doesn't really do much. Here we have a baby torch coral. It's not completely open at the moment. I actually dipped this coral, that hammer we'll get to in a minute, and those two, I dipped them this morning just because they're still new, and I wanted to make sure there was no pesky worms or hitchhikers on them that could damage the tank. And, of course, some stuff did come off of them, so I will periodically dip these until nothing comes off of them, and then I know they're good to go. For those of you who don't know what dipping means, I basically take out this small coral. They're on these little plugs. They're not actually attached to the rock yet. And I take some of the water out of the tank and I add some chemicals to the water and shake them up in there, and it loosens or kills any parasites that might be hitchhiking on the coral. There is a hammer coral. It's actually excreting some waste right now. Also, partially closed because of the dip earlier. I will go ahead and throw up a video of these corals when they're wide open. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Back there, hiding, is my cardinal fish. She is very timid of the light, nocturnal fish naturally. So she likes to stay back there until I turn the lights down low. If I go blue light, which I can't really record with this camera, usually she'll come out under blue lights. As you can see, some of these corals glow under the blues. It's really hard to pick up color because of these LEDs. Let's see if I can modify some of this. No, it really doesn't work very well. So for the purpose of this video, let's stick to just white light. That is my little emerald crab doing his thing, just cleaning up whatever debris, food, algae he can get his claws on. He's pretty cool to watch. So that's the rundown of the tank at the moment. I will throw in some clips of the corals and the anemones being happy. I'll also throw in some clips of this anemone and clownfish starting their hosting process. I actually got some footage late at night under the red lights. The fish can't see the red light, so to them it's darkness, but to us we can actually see it. I recorded her actually beginning the hosting process of the anemone. One thing I do want to point out is some of these corals, that bird's nest, for example, and that hammer over there, came from Wilmington, because we don't really have any local fish stores around here that really supply saltwater fish and corals and materials. I go up to Wilmington, and there are several shops up there that have coral and saltwater equipment.